Welcome to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room, starring Rocky DiStefano, Phil Pasquale, Delano Williams, and Mark Mullen, with featured guest, former NFL pro Antone Davis. Fantasy football, real results.
What's up, and welcome to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. I'm your host, Delano Williams, and we are back in action.
I don't know. I think that's 2 straight weeks now.
Good job.
Hey, what you mean? Hey,
it was good.
Hey, don't let me. Y'all cut me with the drop off last week like this was, you know what I mean? You can't. Good thing I'm good at improv and I'm good on my feet.
Gotta be prepared, buddy.
I'm good on my feet. What's up? It's good seeing you. What's up, man? I like your outfit.
I feel like I've been here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the same shirt, Phil.
You must
you've
have
been sitting there for 2 weeks.
I like the Yankees.
You must have really good laundry service in your house to have something clean the next week, just like that.
Laundry service. I'm not Rocky. I don't have linen maids.
I thought we're back to Rocco.
No, I'm not saying. Listen,
You're not going to.
you want to call him Rocco? You got an inferiority complex with him? That's fine.
Rocco, especially
I'm
with
gonna,
Brown,
I'm gonna call you Rocco just because that's your God-given name, and I'd rather someone call me by my God-given name.
Yeah,
Don't
Philip.
call me.
It's Rocky.
Yeah,
no.
Philip.
No.
Yeah, Philip.
You can call me Philip.
Oh, you like Philip?
Me.
Philip's
It's my name.
Oh, okay.
You like Delano?
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm calling him Rocco. Exactly that.
He
We're gonna eliminate
puts
that.
himself out there as Rocky.
But I don't put myself out there as Delano.
Because you Anglos can't say it.
I'm not an Anglo, number one.
You Anglo.
The only Anglo sitting at this table is over there.
You Americans.
I ain't Anglo.
It's American.
The hell are you talking about?
Anglo?
What you talking about?
All right.
So my
Anglo.
dad used to always talk about the Americans.
Americans.
They can't say nothing.
And Americans and their barbecue, yes.
No barbecue.
Well, speaking of barbecue, that's what I got going on right now.
What are you making barbecue?
Yeah, I'm smoking a pork butt right now at the house.
You keep talking about how good of a cook you are.
You won't bring nothing here.
Nothing. You brought nothing.
You don't want me to bring anything here.
You just
No, we don't.
smoke all this butt and don't share anything.
Yeah, but I mean, smoking, I'm learning. I'm trying to become a master.
So you haven't. You're figuring it out.
With smoking, well, I think I'm on my way.
So what do you
Before
smoke
with?
with?
I smoke with, so right now I use my regular briquettes. And then what I smoke with is I use a hickory apple, depending on what I'm smoking. So if I'm doing.
What do you smoke in?
I use a Weber Masters Touch Kettle. Mm-hmm. One of the best, has interchangeable grates where you can do anything. You could do a pizza in there, but I'm not into that. I need to master that smoking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because you don't like Italian food.
Don't do that to me. Don't do this on air. Not on air.
You don't like Italian food?
No, he says it's redundant.
Listen, that's
You
right.
really
He
gonna
did
do
say
this to
that.
me?
Redundant.
Where you weren't
No, no.
there.
So is
Yeah, it was.
smoked
I was
meats.
there for that.
That
Yeah, but
hit
I don't
me
do it
here
all the
because
time,
that's
but-
ridiculous. Italian food.
Listen, I'll do this. I'll do this.
It's a holy trinity of
do
food.
this. Can I say this though? With that being said, coming from me as a cook, as a chef,
That's questionable, though.
it's questionable because you've never had my food. But
I've
there's a
never
lot of people that
seen
can
you-
vouch for me.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot of people that
I
can vouch
think
for me.
you have to earn the.
Never
don't
seen
need
you
that,
cook
though.
anything.
Well, that's the thing.
It's all hearsay.
Leave it. Leave it. There's plenty
There's
of
a
people.
holy
You're just-
trinity. Listen, holy
just-
trinity
What
of
I
food.
will say,
You're smoking
Hispanic,
butt at home and
Listen.
saying you're a chef.
and Italian.
but I will say this.
As a home cook.
As a cook, I'm not a home cook. I'm a homebody that cooks at home. Listen,
That's implied.
Italian food is one of the hardest foods to make, and it's more so the sauces because
They're so
they
complex.
take time. They are complex, and just even the cooking, the temperature, make sure you
So
don't
is
break
it more?
them.
You're like a hater. Basically.
No,
Because
Doesn't
you
like the
can't
challenge.
master it.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. I didn't
say
say I
it's
didn't master it.
redundant.
I
You don't
never
have
said
to
I
say
didn't
it. It's
master
just
it.
what you're-
I just said you guys, noodles can only be made 30 billion types of ways.
Oh.
No, dude,
Pasta
but you can't,
can
like-
only be made 30 billion
No.
types of ways. You want elbows or you want bow ties?
I'm telling you what.
Okay,
It
so
just-
Do you
I
want
mean, he's a cook,
spaghetti or
right?
do you want angel hair?
Completely different opinion if you start making fresh homemade pasta, which I've done.
Do you want
And,
tortellini
you
or do
never
you
want
want-
boxed shit ever again?
Hey,
when you
guess
start
what?
making fresh pasta.
That might be a thing.
okay, so
And I'm not
when
even
you
Italian.
smoke, right? It's the same. It's
You're just
redundant.
smoking meat.
Yeah, but no, it is a little different.
So is the pastas.
What? Name
So
it.
is manigold. You ever had manigold?
No.
Okay. You ever had stuffed shells?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, eggplant parmesan.
I had definitely
chicken parmesan.
can make all of that. Can make it all.
Okay, so how is there not variation? You're just smoking meats.
There's a ton of
No,
variation.
yeah.
ton of variation. The main thing is
just in the complexity of the
pasta.
You ever
sauces.
had brajol?
That's it. That's all. That's all I
pasta-
give
You
it
ever
to
had a
you.
brajol?
I give it
Pasta's not
to-
even the
I
same.
give it to you guys. I give it the sauces. That's what I'm saying. The sauces is what makes it different.
Fresh.
he
and-
calls brajol. He calls it brachiola.
It's brajol.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying he goes to a restaurant. He's the guy that orders it. Brachiola.
Oh,
I'll take a
brachiola.
brachiola.
Yeah, I'll take a brachiola.
And then the guy looks at him like,
You have mozzarella cheese sticks?
and I'll take it. I'll take a glass of your finest merlot.
Let me have some marinara on the spaghettis.
Listen, you guys can
Is that
do
Pinot
all that.
Grigio?
You can roast me however you want. I'm just saying it is a little redundant.
"You're killing me, man."
Everybody
It's a little
Sbarro?
redundant,
This is.
but it's okay.
You don't even understand. This has been in Rocky's heart for like, when did we have this
Oh, yeah. He
conversation?
hates
Like
you
6 weeks
because of
ago.
I know,
This
it's
has been
okay.
building and building and building, like the
okay.
acid reflux that you get from eating Italian
I'm
food.
proud to be Italian.
And I'm proud that you're Italian because I'm Italian. I just don't like Italian food.
First of all, I don't think you're Italian.
I'm Italian. Delano. Yes, Macchi Chezzo Fai Bello.
But you say we can't say it
Delano
like
is pretty
that.
good, actually. Yeah,
It's in Delano.
Delano is actually an Italian name.
It is an Italian.
Yeah, no,
name.
but it's Delano. It's,
It's
not
not.
Delano.
No, it's Delano.
We've literally been fighting about this for 2 months.
Dude, I'm
We've
so
never fought.
confused now.
I don't
because
never
he's been
remember
arguing
fighting with you.
I say Delano. You say it's wrong.
Never said that.
Oh my god.
Yes, you.
No, when?
You've only
Every
said it's
time.
Delano.
Anyway, it's
Yeah,
Delano.
it's like, and I'm going to lead into it.
Is this a football show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a dog show.
What kind?
We try to talk about other things for Delano because it's easier for him
Yeah,
to
but
not
then he
talk
went
about
like
football.
dark with the
There
dog.
you go. Then when we get,
He described things I don't want to know.
try to give him
about.
his time to shine, and then
Yeah.
he just goes too far.
Let's go on to the AFC East.
A horrible topic
This is
to
so bad.
intro.
Yeah, this will be for the 12.
I love Rottweilers. I
for the
love
12 people
turtles.
watching.
No, we
Let's-
could tell.
Wait,
I
let's cut.
I love turtles.
Welcome, guys, to week whatever we're on.
Yeah. So let's start with New England. I'll go first.
Yeah, you go.
Okay. And it was clear, right, that Bill Belichick did not like losing.
Oh my
Because
god!
they were the most active team in free agency up through the first couple weeks, and I guess free agency is still going on, but
It's died down. Yeah.
it's pretty much most of the big signings have been done. So they first of all signed two of the top tight ends in the open market. Not only signed them, but they paid them a good deal of
Handsomely.
money. Jonnu Smith from Carolina, right?
No, Tennessee,
Tennessee, right? Tennessee, yeah.
because that
And-
makes Ferkser the number one now.
He's getting his blues mixed up.
Which I like Ferkser actually. And then they also signed Hunter Henry, which kind of came as a surprise to me.
Who?
Hunter Henry.
Hunty
Boo
Boo
Who?
Boo.
Hunty
Honey Boo Boo. You know Honey Boo Boo.
Hunty Boo Boo.
In addition to that, right, another two other big moves. They signed Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne as wide receivers, and their wide receivers were kind of pretty weak last year,
Yeah.
so it was a good signing. On defense, they signed Jalen Mills and Matthew Judon, but overall, they had 23 signings. Now, a lot of them were re-signing their own, right? Cam Newton, et cetera. But as far as free agents, they signed 13. And in addition to what they signed, they have more players coming back that didn't play, opted out last year because of COVID,
Right.
than any other team in the NFL.
Right.
So I think they're going to be a very improved team. I don't like Cam Newton.
That's what I had a question for you.
Yeah, I don't like Cam Newton.
Speaking on, okay, not to cut you off. With the Cam Newton re-signing, what do you think Belichick is thinking? What do you think the momentum into next year, coming off of the year they just had with signing Newton? And if I'm going to rate him, I don't think he panned out quite how they expected him to. I don't know what the picking him up was. What do you think the idea was of picking up someone like Cam Newton to fill in the shoes of someone like Tom Brady?
I mean,
What do you think?
I think that they thought they had a off season to get him hooked into the system.
Yeah.
I think that they thought they had a better offensive line than they ended up having because people opted out for COVID. I think they felt like they had one of the best defenses in the league which they didn't because of opt-outs.
Right.
So I think that they felt like he could be a good game manager, and I do think they thought he would be better than what he was.
Now, based off of what they thought, what do you think?
I think they're
in
going
Cam Newton?
to. I think they're drafting a quarterback in the first round this year.
Yeah, I think they are too.
And I think that they're
But not
gonna,
to start.
No, I think they're going to allow him. I could see whoever they draft starting by the end of the year, but I think that they're okay with bringing Cam back another year with a camp with a lot of weapons. And I like the receivers they got. Nelson Aguilar actually looked really good last year. And I think Kendrick Bourne is a real.
Well, I think
I don't know
he's
if
there
he's
to
a number
take,
one, but
He's
I
there to
think he's
take
a
the
number
lid
two.
off of the defense. There, he's there to be the burner. Which I'm curious to see what it does for N'Keal Harry to see if he can finally live up to expectation too.
Well, they've got a lot of receivers that have showed promise in the past, but who haven't.
At the
ever
same time, they
broken
have
through.
no receivers.
Yeah, well, so they have a lot of the same. I think a lot of the same receivers. You mentioned Bird a couple
Darius
weeks ago.
Bird, yeah.
DeMar
DeMar,
Bird.
sorry.
Yeah, Harry. They've got a third one, but I'm blanking on the name, and they're all kind of the same. They each will have a breakout week here or there,
Right.
But they won't actually put up.
And that's the thing. Cam needs consistency, and I think
does.
that's the reason why. I mean, what better way to bring in two fantastic blocking tight ends that are also dynamic pass catchers, right?
Yeah.
So let's bring everything in. Let's protect Cam. Give him the 4 seconds to drop back because he's not the Cam that we first saw that came into the league, right? That he'll go back, first couple reads. If it's not there, he takes off, right? It's not the same Cam. So now you bring in a couple of really some really good blocking tight ends that can release quickly and beat linebacker coverage. And I think, kudos to Belichick, man. He's really good at like seeing what the team needs and goes out and gets it to fit his quarterback.
Well, I mean, he's recreating, like as I said a couple weeks ago, he's recreating Gronk and Hernandez. I think these are both really solid tight ends, like you said. And I think the receiving core is going to be improved. They re-signed James White, so it's another weapon that they have.
That's a good one.
Harris came on as a running back toward the end of the year and seemed like he was doing pretty good. I think he averaged 5.8 yards a carry. So he seems to be a decent running back.
And what's crazy, too, is New England seems to do that thing where they have that reverse pass offense, right? So everybody goes out and they get these big-name receivers, and the tight ends are secondary, right? Well, some of New England's best years were with Gronk and Hernandez. They go out and they get those dynamic tight ends, and then they get serviceable receivers that do what they're specialized in. Kendrick Bourne is going to beat the coverage, right? And then you have Nelson Aguilar, who has proved that he can beat coverage and he can come up with big catches in tough situations. And, I mean, you bring in 2 tight ends like that, I mean, you're definitely looking to change the script of what you did last year, without a doubt.
So, all that being said,
Phil, what do you think?
I'll say I'm a Cam truther, right? And I think, like I said on a previous episode, a system like Belichick's, with not a real off season, having the COVID in the middle of the season, no weapons on the outside, I think affected him. He's obviously not Tom Brady. I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as he played last year. I don't think they're drafting a quarterback in the first round. Belichick's approaching 70. And what they did in the offseason is not what a team does when they're trying to draft a new quarterback. It's what they do when they're trying to compete.
Yeah, to win games now.
So they re-signed Cam, and they're trying to compete. They go get him all the weapons he needs. You got the guys coming back. I don't think they're going quarterback in the first round. Do I think
I'm
they're
gonna be
going to
honest
take
with
a
you,
quarterback? Yeah, I don't.
Well,
think
I think
they're
he's got
spending-
his. I think he's got his eyes on a couple that he's really high on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to win the Super Bowl with Cam. You're
Why
just
not?
not. I don't believe he's that caliber anymore. He's 3 years removed from his best couple seasons.
Was that against Denver?
Yeah, it was Denver.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm just saying that's what I think that's
I
what
think you
Belichick's
trade
thinking.
for.
Well, let me ask this then.
But to
So-
flip
Jimmy
it to
Jimmy
fantasy before we
Garoppolo.
keep talking about what they're going to do,
Yeah.
all those signings, do we think it helps Cam?
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you roster Cam? Is he going to have more room to run?
Yes. I think Cam becomes
Cam.
after the first 5 or so quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think he's in that next rung because of the tight ends. I think it's going to be easy for him to throw short passes and let them get additional yardage.
And he's
I
still
think
going to vulture goal line touchdowns too.
Yes.
And who of the 2 tight ends are you taking?
I'm taking,
Of the 2?
I'm taking Henry.
See,
Honey
I
Boo Boo?
prefer Jonnu just because I think Jonnu is going to be in more snaps because of the 2, he's still the better blocking tight end. So I think he's going to be the mainstay, and then when they come into 2 tight end sets, they'll bring in Hunter. But they paid them both a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong.
So where do you think they go with the 15th pick overall? You know, because I mean they spent, man. I mean, for crying out loud, Deshaun should take a page out of Kraft's book and save some of that money on masseuses and go out and get weapons because he just loaded this offense up.
I think they're going to go defense.
Do you think that, or you think they protect them now? You think they bring in someone to protect Cam and go
I
offensive
think if
line?
they're going to go offensive line, I think they're going to trade back, and they'll probably try to get in a pick late in the first round and something early in the second.
I mean, that's Belichick's MO. He always
think their
trades back.
offensive line is honestly, and you know, I studied it last night. They're top 5 in the league. They're getting one player back. They signed another center. I think that their offensive line actually is going to be a strength for them this year. So if I'm them, I'm with you.
Defense.
I think I'm going defensive line. I'm getting a couple really good edge rushers.
Yep.
They should all be available there.
yeah.
You know, they're drafting at
15.
Yeah, they should really be. That should be the heart of it. There still should be a couple of the.
So real quick, if there's like who are the 3 guys on this offense that you're looking to invest in early in redraft or invest money in or long-term in for dynasties?
Honestly, it's really tough with this team because how they structured their offense, you really don't know what they're going to do, right?
Yeah,
so
they
you
share so much.
Aguilar and Bourne and Harry, they're not the first receivers coming off the board. They're not even your second or third receivers coming off the board. And now your tight ends, right? They bring in Henry. You're like, awesome. Henry's coming off the board early.
Yep.
And they bring in, Jonnu, or actually they brought in Jonnu Smith first, right? So you bring in Jonnu, you're like, all right, Jonnu's going to really thrive in this, in this offense. Then they bring in Henry, and you're like, oh shit. I guess Jonnu pumped the brakes and pump the brakes on that because Jonnu's going to fall back, and now Henry's going to fall back, and they're going to split targets. I mean, they're both pass catching tight ends.
When do you think they're going?
So Henry would usually be around the 7th tight end off the board. He's dropped.
Yeah.
Probably like 12 to 15.
You said Henry?
Henry.
Yeah, and you might get a
Jonnu's
value
in
out
that
of it.
same. Yeah.
I mean-
and you could get extreme value out of this, especially if one of them goes down with an injury, then the other one's golden at that point.
So, but like I said, who are the 3 that you would take? Who right now?
I'm not taking
Forget the draft. If you had to pick 3 guys on this team to single out, who would be the guys you'd bank on rostering this year?
I got him.
Cam and the 2 tight ends.
And what about you?
So I actually would go Cam. I think there's other quarterbacks that are going to still be better value. So I'm going Harris, the running back. I liked him, and I think he shows a lot of promise. I do like the tight end. I don't know which one yet until we get closer to the season, but it would be one of them. And the other guy is Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne is a precise route runner. He plays every position on offense as far as slot, outside. He can do it all. And if you look at what he did last year, he was tremendous in third downs. So I think he's also 25 years old. So I think he's the receiver that they're going to start building with. And I like him a lot.
And he's intriguing, but I want to see a larger sample size before I'm investing.
Yeah. But if I'm taking a flyer, if it's 4th round and it's him or another second receiver on a team, I'm probably going to go with Kendrick for upside.
And what about you?
No, I'm going
names.
to agree with
know
Rocky.
why?
It makes sense.
That's right.
So
It has nothing to do with Ohio State. It has all to do with
Stamos. What? Did we just become best friends?
So-
Yep.
I'll take Cam. I take Jonnu, and I go Aguilar because I do agree with you with Bourne, but Cam Newton has never been a short, intermediate pass thrower that was accurate. I think his best years when he had Steve Smith early,
Yeah.
Ted getting down the field.
So you're not taking Cam, or you are?
I'm taking Cam.
Okay.
Nelson Aguilar and Jonnu would be the 3 guys I'd target at some point when the value's there.
So I guess the fact that three of us, right, had different players is probably the reason why the answer may be nobody.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be somebody, but you might not know it before the draft.
But that's just, it's New England. It still might be nobody because they just spread the ball around usually so effectively when they're playing well that there's no really. I mean, outside of Randy Moss, they've really never.
The only thing I'll say different though, and you're 100% right with Brady, but Cam's a different.
Completely.
You know,
Well, that's why they got him 2 tight ends.
Yeah,
That's
and
what you
so
need
I
with
feel
Cam.
like he himself is going to sink in on a few receivers.
Speaking about tight ends, what do you guys think? I've heard rumors that Miami may be targeting Pitts.
Yeah, I love Kyle Pitts.
Oh, Kyle, everything that I've read and seen on Kyle Pitts is that they're calling him the most dynamic tight end to come out of college in the last 2 decades, and that he is a difference maker.
So you think that affects, I mean,
They're saying
Tua, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
You think that bumps his stock? I mean, I don't really know where you guys stand on Tua. I'm not a big believer, but
So are we rolling into this then? Or
Yeah.
is that our segue? We're going into Miami
well,
now?
not when you talk about it, but yeah.
No, we like calling that shit out loud, though. It's fun.
So we're segueing into Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts could be there at 6 for Miami, right? So Miami traded into that 6th spot. It's going to be tough because Cincy picks right ahead of him. What does Cincy put more
Value in?
value? Yeah, you know,
Well, what do they need?
I would
maybe
say
a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I would
They
say
need a wide
offensive
receiver.
line. I mean, you got to protect Burrow, or else that pick just doesn't even make sense. Why get
Tua.
Burrow if you're not going to? No, I'm talking about Cincy. at
Oh, I
5,
thought you were
right
talking
ahead of
about
him.
Miami.
No. We'll get there.
I spaced out, sorry.
So why go and get that Burrow pickup if you're not going to protect the dude, right? But they let 2 of their wide receivers walk. So now I think it might be between Jamar Chase, who they really love,
I love Jamar Chase.
or Pitts. And I don't know. It's crazy. If Pitts slides to 6,
It's an easy. Yeah, Miami's got the easiest
I mean,
choice.
they have to, right? I mean, he's a Florida boy. He's going to have a chance to play
Unless
Miami.
you go wide receiver because you only signed Will Fuller to 1 year.
But you have Devontae Parker
That's
and
true.
Will Fuller, right? So
And Preston Williams is still in the mix.
Yeah, Preston Williams is decent.
which is going to be a fantastic third receiver. And they're kind of setting Tua up for that same thing that we talked about earlier with Locke, with all these guys, that it's like, here's your weapons. You can't do it, then you're not our guy in the future, right?
Yeah.
So you bring in Pitts, and who's the quarterback's best friend? Tight end, right? A tight end that can catch. So you have Gesicki, who's already a proven tight end. You bring in Pitts now and then pair them with Parker and Fuller on the outside, who are both
they may be
fast
creating
receivers. I mean, they might be giving Tua all the
they might be
weapons he needs.
creating that 2 tight end sets, which is kind of like, it's odd to see it, but it's coming back into style. I mean, there are several teams that use 2 wide receiver sets or tight end sets quite often.
Yeah, I
Which
mean-
think they call it 13.
Yeah, 13 personnel.
Cleveland used what, like 4 in the playoffs?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was so bad when they had all those guys out and they had three tight end sets, for crying out loud.
So forget Pitts, though. Tell me who do you love?
In Miami?
Yeah.
So,
Who did they sign?
So they signed Will Fuller, right? So they bring Will Fuller into town, which is fantastic because Devontae Parker's a very capable receiver, but we've seen him. He's had some up and downs.
He's
right,
going to
in the
be a
leagues.
great number 2.
Yeah, but Devontae presents himself like a number 1, but we've seen in the past he needs somebody else there to kind of take the heat off him. Once Preston Wilson went down last year, it took Lynn Bowden. It was a running back that they converted to receiver to take some of that pressure off Parker before you saw Parker start to kind of shine at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So you bring in Fuller, who's going to stretch the field. Fuller can catch. I mean, let's just keep the friggin' weed out of his locker and let Fuller play a full season and not screw some of us out of a
Was it weed or steroids?
Yeah, it's not the
grand
weed.
prize.
It's the steroids.
It was the steroids, wasn't it?
No,
Weed.
He was
Oh, was it weed, really?
yeah.
No, I don't. That was a commercial.
I didn't think it was weed.
Yeah, no, I thought it was
So
some kind
it's
of
been
performance.
it's been in his past too. So he's had some.
Well, Mark just, he judges people. So
Yeah.
No, it's not judging. I'm just saying. I mean, hey, you want to smoke some weed?
Typical-
Smoke some weed.
typical
Pretty soon
white
it's going to
guy.
be legal, and everyone that's ever been suspended for it, like, what the hell? I couldn't play for a season because of this.
Yeah.
No, I got. Yeah, I forgot what they get.
all right, yeah.
So anyway, I think Miami's offense gets a bump this year, and I'd like to see who they select in that 6th position. Am I taking Tua as my top quarterback? Absolutely not. Am I going to take a flyer on him in best ball leagues as my third quarterback? Yeah, certainly. A guy who's mobile, who now has weapons. I'm still going to draft Devontae Parker where he should be drafted, and that's probably somewhere around that like 20 to 30 wide receiver range. Will Fuller falls in there too, only because we don't know what Fuller's
going to do either.
or what Fuller's capable of. I mean,
No,
can this
you're
dude
wrong.
stay on the field for a whole season? We don't know.
What about their running back situation?
That's a mess.
Okay, so that's what I would do. If I was Miami, I like Pitts. I think Pitts is pretty good. I don't think he's going to be there at 6. But if I'm Miami, I take Najee Harris. That guy's a monster.
So
He's a running back.
the latest mock I've seen from another podcast is, and these guys are known in the fantasy community. They don't even have a running back going in the first 2 rounds, and that's Etienne, that's Harris, that's you know,
I saw that. But
that's
to me, that's
Javonte
kinda
Williams
crazy
who's
'cause
skyrocketing.
You've got Travis Etienne and you've got Najee Harris. But to me, Najee Harris, he is a difference type of running back.
Yeah,
They won. People want to talk about Mac Jones, talk about their receiving core, and that was part of it. But if you look at why Ohio State couldn't cover the receivers in the national championship, it was because they couldn't stop Najee Harris. And so they could not cheat. They had to cheat.
Did he play
up.
Alabama?
Yeah. So they had to cheat up some of their backfield.
and there's 2 glaring holes for teams at 23 and 24 there that could use running backs, and that's Pittsburgh and the Jets.
No, there's one more.
Well, it's 23 and 24. That was a perfect segue until you screwed it up.
Yeah. Well, now we're talking about segues. So,
Anyway,
so
How about them Jets?
you're on.
Jets, Jets.
Wow, how
the
dare
Jets
you.
are depressing to talk about.
Yeah,
And
they are.
you know, they have some guys on the outside there now with Mims and who they bring in? Corey Davis, who we talked about a bit.
Yeah,
What do you
you're a
mean?
big
What do you
Corey
mean?
Davis
Who they
fan.
bring in? You were
I forgot for a second,
hell-bent on
but Corey Davis
being
yeah.
a wide receiver 1.
Well, listen, I'm not sitting around thinking about the Jets 24/7, but Corey Davis, he had a great year, but we still don't know if he's. Do we know Mims is number 1? Do we know if Davis is number 1? Not sure. Who's the quarterback? Is it Darnold? Is it going to be Wilson? Is it going to be Justin Fields? New coach, new system. I mean, honestly, I probably don't draft anybody on it. Maybe take a flyer on Davis late. I would try to get Mims if I could in a dynasty. If he's on like we play in a dynasty league with contracts, so maybe have him long term and hold him. Maybe they take a running back, which is probably what they should do. They need it. I know they signed Tevin Coleman, but I mean,
Well,
all right.
they did like LaMichael P. Ryan.
Yeah, but they went and gave Coleman a contract.
Yeah.
So
Which Coleman's dynamic. I mean, when healthy, Coleman can be a very productive back.
I think the ship has sailed for Coleman. though.
Yeah, and it may have.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's gone.
There's just not a lot to get excited about until when we see who's the quarterback.
So the Jets,
Where's-
they're drafting number 2, right?
Yeah,
So if they draft a quarterback,
if they draft Wilson, which seems to be what they're going to do,
that seems to be who they want. But
Yeah.
what would you guys do at 2?
I think you got to take. Well, it depends. If I believed in, I'm still iffy on Darnold, but if I did, I would trade back and get some talent around him. I mean,
so you say that maybe Darnold with enough weapons is good enough.
But now the hype on Wilson has grown so much that maybe
Somebody's
it seems
making-
like he's dynamic and.
The Jets are going to overthink this again. They're gonna
Well, they
make a
always-
and
mistake.
miss out, yeah.
but you know what's crazy?
So what do you think they should? I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they drafted Wilson. I wouldn't be mad if
They're
they.
going to draft Wilson because he went to the left side of the field and threw across his body for a 65-yard pass, right? That's why they're going to draft
That's
Wilson.
what they're going to base their future on.
Yeah, the next day,
One
Justin
unguarded.
Fields did the exact same thing except for he threw a 70-yard completion.
No,
And
Justin Fields' pro day was.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And he ran a 4.4. They're overthinking. And when they asked him, you tend to stare down your receivers, he said, I'm at Ohio State. The receivers are open.
Yeah.
So I don't have to work through progressions. Doesn't mean he can't. I think
Well, I've seen some tape of him working through progressions. They
I
were
have
playing
too,
today.
yeah, watching him. I think Justin Fields is this year's Lamar Jackson. He's going to be under thought of and somebody's going to get a steal about middle. Now, 49ers, are they drafting him? There's talk about them going Mac Jones.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I think people are overthinking. You can't teach a kid. He's 6'4",
Running a
230
4.4,
pounds.
yeah.
Mac Jones is going to be a bust anyway.
Mac Jones is going to be a career backup and probably a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But that's what he's going to be in the pros.
Well, all that being said, whoever they take, I still, if I'm talking about investing in anybody in the redraft or any of this, I mean, I'm, like I said, a flyer, not a flyer, but maybe I take Davis late.
Yeah.
And see if I, roster.
Where would you take Davis? Like third round, you're talking?
No, not even close. I mean, I'd take Davis probably after the 6th round. I haven't been doing mocks. I don't know where he is, but after 6th, 7th round, maybe I start looking at Davis.
Davis comes off the board as like your third receiver, even.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's just strictly on volume because they've got really no one else there that they're going to target. See, now if I was the Jets, I would not draft quarterback at 2. Why? Because I think Darnold, now with Gase out of town, Gase sucks, man. Gase blows up teams. Gase is just awful, right?
He's sucked everywhere he's been.
Darnold has had very, very skillful games. I know we've talked and joked about, that game where he said he saw ghosts and what have you, but it was a great defensive scheme on him, right? But the guy's mobile. He had that one really good run last year where he pulled it down 49 yards, I think, against the Broncos or whatever. He's a very capable quarterback if you get him some weapons. Me at 2, I'm plucking Devontae Smith right off of the board, man. I'm giving him a playmaker, and I'm setting him up the same way that we just talked about some of the other quarterbacks. Here's weapons. Prove to me that you're our guy, right? Because at 2, a lot of times you can draft your franchise quarterback. I don't see it in Zach Wilson. I don't see it in Justin Fields. I don't see it in Trey Lance. I don't see it in Mac Jones. I don't see it in any of those guys. I don't even really see it in Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. But, I mean, the hype is so big on Trevor Lawrence, it's probably going to be shame on me in the end. It's probably,
there's got to be one. There's got to be one. You can't come out of the draft and no one. I mean, there's got. I
don't know, man. So. There's been bust years.
No, I mean, as far as having the hype on you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he might not be as to pan out.
I mean, you have a chance to go out and get one of the biggest playmakers ever to play the game at wide receiver in Devontae Smith, who I place higher praise on than Jamar Chase. I think the knock on Smith is that his frame, he's undersized. So was Calvin Ridley. And look what that dude's doing. He's putting up wide receiver 1 numbers as wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Put him on a team like that. Give him a chance. Give Darnold a chance to be your guy. I think he can do it.
I wanted Darnold the year the Browns took Mayfield, not Mayfield. So I was very high on him out of
I'm
college.
not totally out on Darnold either, so I would consider it.
I think the Jets fan base.
Yeah, I think they are. I think the organization is too. I mean, they had a chance to trade that pick. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know if
they could have made that trade the other day.
I mean, that's
with San Francisco. So it kind of tells me they're going to take Wilson. They're looking for somebody to deal Darnold to, who I think probably goes to Denver.
I think Wilson is a huge risk. Because basically BYU played the MAC. They didn't play, and the only good team they played, he didn't look good against.
I'm just telling you, Zach Wilson is this year's Mitch Trubisky. That's how I feel.
I don't think so, but I don't know if he's what they're making him out to be either. That being said,
wait, that's the wrong one.
I think we spent enough time on the Jets,
dirty horse mouth,
who basically have nobody that almost nobody we would roster going into the season.
It's sad to have a team like that where you're like, I don't know.
I think they have a lot of potential, but it's just a lot of unknown.
And it is because they have weapons.
Yeah,
right. Herndon has been an underproducer for the amount of years that he's been in the league, but the guy's got great potential.
He drops the ball.
I feel like
he's
I feel
like
they're a team where somebody's going to win a league.
Yeah,
because they drafted Corey Davis a round later,
right?
And he's going to take off.
Well, listen, we spent 41 minutes talking about the AFC East, and we haven't gotten to the champs.
Let's go.
So I think it's time.
I guess, I'm glad we saved the best for last.
The champs.
And speaking of which, they are the best team going into next year. And looking at them, the pickups that they've gotten this year, Emmanuel Sanders is looking...
I like Emmanuel Sanders.
Fantastic, up with Stephon Diggs. And if we're going to look at, I didn't even want to bring up that yet. Let's put that one on ice. Let's go ahead and talk about this running back game. And the only reason I'm bringing them up is because you guys are mentioning, the Jets need running back and this needs running. I'm going to go out as far as say the Bills need a running back.
The Bills
I
definitely
think
need a guy.
Yeah, they
they
need a franchise
have
guy, yeah.
Singletary, and he is okay, in my opinion, at best, looking at the league and what running backs are out there producing. So they just, I think, brought on for their third Matt Breida. Which is, not even if you look at his stats, I don't even know why you brought him out there, because you have Moss, which is questionable right now. I don't know if we're going to go into this next season with him, and he played a lot of downs last year, correct?
Yeah, he looked all right, but I don't think they're settled on him as the guy.
So when you look at it and you see, Singletary kind of barely making his way, we need a running back for sure.
But don't they break that up? Like Singletary tends to be the receiving back, and Moss tends to be the running back, but they don't have a back that they can put out there 3 down.
There's not a 3 down back there.
They don't, and they need that. So looking at
where
it,
do they pick them?
That might be the only piece of the puzzle.
I think they would pick late. Yeah.
So do you think this hurts though? I mean, I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but do you think Sanders hurts or helps Diggs?
We'll get there. We'll get there, because I'm gonna,
Oh man, you still
put it
have
on
water
ice.
breakdown?
I put it on ice. I've only been in 3 minutes, guys. Can I get my time in?
Seems like 12.
Mr. 30.
Mark, you talked about 26 minutes.
Yeah,
It's about
We'll just-
roundabout. I was
I'm gonna
rounding
start-
it out.
Hey,
timing
now
all
you're
this crap.
chiming in on my 3 minutes in, boss.
Yeah, he's taking it.
Listen here. Oh, with
You
that
know what?
being
He's
said,
vulturing. You know what he is? He's the
Who?
Yeah.
He's
Mark's
Cam
that-
Newton.
Yeah, he's Cam Newton. He's stepping into the end zone from 1 yard out. You got the ball 80 yards down, and he's taking it in.
that's what he does. That's what he does.
Bastard.
Looking at it, because I wanted to put that on ice.
Okay.
After speaking with Singletary, we know where the need is there. But when we're looking at what Diggs is doing and having Emmanuel Sanders come in, taking 61 receptions for that last year,
is that
726
what he had?
yards.
Yeah.
Wow. That's more than I thought, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a perfect number 2 coming behind Diggs, taking off the looks. The thing about Diggs is he has only gotten better every season. That's the thing. He maybe had a fall off, maybe his 3rd season, but he's been in the league 6 years, guys.
Diggs has been solid.
And he has been that receiver that, we've seen you 5 other years on Minnesota, but coming in, playing Buffalo, looking what he's done this year, 1,500 yards plus. Diggs is the guy.
Well, let me ask you,
So
what
you
can
think that Sanders is going to help Diggs get open even more?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it could only because Sanders isn't bad. That's the thing. Sanders, looking at him as a second, he has 82 targets. That's a lot of targets. That comes up with, par with the best receivers in the league right now, hitting about 87, maybe 90 something.
It's a lot more than
a
I
lot of
thought.
targets.
But what does
he's
Sanders
able to be a slot receiver.
What does Sanders bring to the team though that John Brown didn't? Because John Brown, I think,
catch.
was a capable second.
I mean, because John Brown was fast,
Fair.
but he dropped a lot, and I don't think Sanders drops.
No, not at all. I mean, his numbers show for it. The thing is, he's doing a lot with a little. 61 receptions, he has 726 yards. That's not a lot of receptions, but looking at it, I mean, we're about a third.
That's not
short
bad for your second
No, not at
receiver.
all. Not at all. So I think it's going to be good for him.
John Brown is quicker than Sanders.
yeah.
But
Sanders is a vet. He's been in the league longer. He knows how to get open, and he's more reliable. I mean, he makes tough catches. He makes catches
I think
in traffic.
John Brown dropped 12 or 13 passes last year.
That was the knock. I know that was the knock on Brown coming
Yeah.
from Arizona was
Right.
that the guy can, drop some passes, but he takes the top off of the defense.
For sure.
Which allows,
And that's going to open
guy
up
like
Diggs. Diggs been taking everything. He's running.
Well, Diggs isn't a big receiver.
No, he's
either.
not. No, he's not. Not at all.
I think we already know.
he's
I
a
mean,
precise route runner though.
Diggs is Diggs. We kind of know where he's slotted in already.
Yeah.
So Sanders, are we looking at Sanders as a guy we could roster? How is this going to affect Beasley for guys in PPR leagues?
I think you can roster Emmanuel Sanders. I think, not even looking at Beasley right now. Beasley has kind of always been that third
Oh, yeah, Beasley's
shadowing.
always the shadow.
So
But Beasley was the second last year.
he was, and that's the thing. But you don't bring in Emmanuel
Does he get
Sanders.
bumped down the line, or does Sanders fall in line behind Beasley?
Well, Beasley was only second in production. Beasley was wide receiver 3 though.
Well, let's think about it. They don't have too
Brown,
many.
Diggs,
That's the thing.
But
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
but Beasley,
I'm
Beasley.
talking about for fantasy, like
Yeah,
No, you put him in
is
there.
he
You
going
put
to
him in
be
there.
getting the same amount of targets?
No, he's going to.
Beasley's unchanged.
So then we're looking at
Sanders doesn't
Sanders
change.
as wide receiver 3
Yes.
based on production.
Ooh,
Yeah,
well,
you're still looking at him, I think, stepping into John Brown.
we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna have to say we'll see about that. We're gonna see what Emmanuel
So you
Sanders is
think-
gonna bring. I
what
think
do
he
you
could be a
think
number
Beasley-
I
2.
want to know what you think.
He could be a number 2. I think
You
Beasley
think he's
has.
going to take some from Beasley?
Yeah, I think so for sure. You don't bring a guy like that in, and you're looking at it outside of Beasley. There was no other receivers around Stephon Diggs like that.
How much
So
did they pay him?
The
Anybody know?
NFL likes their white receivers, though. I'm just going to say that.
Do they? I mean, it's like 5 of them.
5 of them.
Wes Welker.
They're good though.
That's a long time
That's
ago.
the thing.
Julian Edelman. Is he still in New England?
I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's
He
got to
is.
be, what,
He is.
50?
He's getting up there. He's like 35, 36.
So you can go back to like Don Beebe. NFL love Don Beebe.
Buffalo. That was Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Beasley is a really great possession receiver. I think
Oh,
he's going to
absolutely.
be. I honestly think he gets
Sure-handed
helped.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
but I
Beasley
think
better than Sanders.
Oh, you do really?
Yeah.
See,
I do
Sanders
too.
better. I like Sanders.
I just don't think you bring in Sanders to not be a potential number 2. Beasley, like I said, that's who you would want in your number 3. You want a guy like that as your number 3.
I think
Sanders-
Sanders was a
But if
filler.
he makes a 2,
And he is getting old because he's in his 30s now.
Yeah.
So he may be okay with that third receiver
a little
role.
long in the tooth.
Yeah, he is. But he hasn't lost speed. He
What's
proved
crazy
that last year.
what's crazy to me about Buffalo is how good they were last year with the holes at running back and tight end.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
had like no tight end play
that's the
either.
thing. That's true.
I don't
That's true.
understand why they didn't try to bring it. I mean, honestly, I think maybe Belichick saw what Buffalo needed and was like, shit, let's get the top 2 tight ends off of the board. Let's bring them to New England. They'll help Cam and screw Buffalo because they need a tight end.
So what if Buffalo trades up and gets Kyle Pitts?
Oh my God, that would
that'd
be
be nasty.
monstrous.
That'd be nasty.
I tell you what I'm shocked
That's
at.
a big contender.
You're talking about Buffalo, and you haven't brought up 100% QB controversy that's now part of the Buffalo Bills. Who's starting? You don't bring in Trubisky,
I did
and
see that.
you don't think that he's going to
No,
challenge?
I don't think so. I think
Josh
what they were
Allen
doing.
for
No,
starting?
no. I don't think that's what that is. I don't think that's what's happening there. And you're trolling if you think so. You think Trubisky is really going to come in? What I think is
Since we're talking about it, where do we want to? Do we still see coming into the season? Is Josh Allen up there in the ether now?
not yet. He's got to give me another year.
With
He's got to give me another
Jackson
year.
and Mahomes.
Now he's got to give me one more year.
Saying as far as production, fantasy, not like.
Oh, of course. Well,
Like,
yeah. I mean, are you
absolutely.
looking at solely
No,
this
you
year?
say yes.
Absolutely.
But are we just solely looking at the 2020 season? Is that all we're going with? We're not looking at any other years,
No,
prior
even the
injuries.
The season before he was dynamic.
He
I'm
was,
curious
he was.
what Phil thinks.
What do you think, Phil?
about Allen.
Yeah.
To me, he's
I think there's going to be
a drop off.
maybe, but I'm encouraged by this. I like Sanders for the team. I
Well,
don't
they-
think
yeah,
he'll
they-
slot. I think he will be the wide receiver too. I don't think he'll outproduce Beasley, but I think it'll help Allen if they could go get him a decent tight end.
And a running back.
He could be close to what he was last year.
So that's my thing. It's less about Allen, who I actually think did everything you ask of a quarterback. He looks
Absolutely.
fantastic.
For sure.
I just don't see how he can repeat that again this year. It was a season where every game was 3 touchdowns.
I think it's going to be enjoyable to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
And are you saying that based off of the moves that are made in the offseason about for the other teams around him, or him himself not being able to?
I just think he caught. He had a season. He caught every break, and everything went his way. And I think Miami's going to be improved. I think New
so. It is
England's
based
gonna
off
be,
the other teams.
the whole AFC East improves.
Right,
honestly.
right. They did.
Yeah, and so I think he's going to be playing in 6 games that are going to be tougher than they were last year.
So it's kind of like we have Big Brother removed. Tom Brady has left the division. Everyone. Here you guys are. Who's going to show out?
it out,
and
yeah.
and he just happened to be the one to stand out and
yeah.
be the.
And I do think he's an amazing quarterback. I just think, man, that's a lot.
Now
to
he's not going to do
replicate.
the same thing.
It's just hard
can
to
kinda
replicate
understand
that. You know?
We'll see it, but that'll prove how great he really is.
Top 3. I'm just feeling dead air now.
Why?
Why? What? Why fill it?
Why? Yeah. Why are you feeling?
Because it feels a little awkward.
Phil was pointing at his phone.
I'm pointing at
I don't
my
know why.
phone, trying to get him to pay attention to his phone.
No, I know. Because I got like repeated texts.
So now I'm going to look on air at my phone because he.
Well, no curtains here.
I'm looking forward to the Yankees jersey again next week too.
Oh,
I'm gonna
wow.
bring it back now
Straight
because you're
weeks.
saying that.
Yeah, no, I used
Wow.
to wear it
Next
every-
2 episodes.
Well, I think that was a pretty good teardown. So what's next week's show? Or
think
what's the
we're-
next couple shows going to be
Are
about?
we going
What did we do? I think we did the North.
We
right?
did
Is that what
North.
we're doing?
NFC
No, we did
North?
the East. We did the East.
We just finished,
The
right?
East. Oh, right. Correct.
Yeah,
We
so I
just
think
finished
the
East.
next 2 episodes are going to be
The North.
NFC North, AFC North.
North.
And then we're going to be taking a little bit of a break to kind of cover the draft. And then we're going to be coming back and finishing up the rest of the conferences.
No, I think we're gonna. No, I think we're
No.
gonna get them all out before the draft.
Think so?
We're powering through.
Oh, that's right, because we're going to drop 2 a week.
2 a week, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some
I know
tricks.
y'all are excited.
He's got some tricks up his sleeve.
They
We're
excited.
definitely
about it.
filming on separate nights though.
Yeah.
Camera 1, camera 2,
No.
camera
Did you just let the cat out the bag?
3.
Oh.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Delano, tell us.
Delano.
Delano, make sure you get it right, okay? Ma che cazzo fai bello, yes?
Can't you see as a
I
couple
don't know
of
what you're saying,
minestrone?
but I'm
You don't
pretty
want to
sure
know
it
because
is.
it's actual Italian and it's not good. But anyways, for those that know Italian, I apologize. I don't mean it about your mom. Outside of that, you can find us on YouTube if you watch any of our shows. You can find us on
Start
any of the
watching our
platforms.
shows.
No, well, if you watch it on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And you can find us on all major platforms: Anchor, iTunes, and if you want to follow us on IG, more for me. You want to know
Yeah,
what
what's-
IG is? I thought they already knew what IG was. Ultimate Fantasy Locker
There you
Room.
go. There you go.
You're only watching the show. I thought it would be obvious, but
Thank
if you
you,
need
Angie.
more, that's why we have you here, Angie. Always throw the handles. Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room.
I can't wait to start
Ultimate
wearing some of
Fantasy
her
Locker
gear
Room.
too. That way we can give her.
Yeah, what's
Shout-outs
the
back.
gear is called, etc.
etc. We'll have a shirt on. I'll
They
be
got
the
a really
first
nice
one.
half shirt that I think you'd look good in.
V-neck.
Shit,
Look good
I'll
in?
wear the hell out of it.
They look good.
You have V-necks. He'd look good in it.
Angie, you're welcome.
Deep
She's got
V.